A model steam engine test plant, part 22. Filling the displacement lubricator with steam oil, wrapping the live steam feed pipes with string, painting the string and connecting the upper water tank. The model steam engine test plant is now complete. In previous clips, this displacement lubricator looked a bit crooked, but as you can see here, with a full-on shot, it's not. It's time now to fill it with steam oil. Not lubricating oil, not machine oil, superheater steam oil, which is very thick and gloopy. I will omit the obvious girlfriend joke from this episode. Unless I open the valve at the bottom of the lubricator, the oil takes a long time to run down. If the plant was in steam, this part would be hot, and therefore the oil would flow much better than it is doing at the moment. Watch what happens when I open the valve at the bottom to let the air out. This is great because the pipe is quite thin, and the oil is reluctant to flow out of the pipe and onto the baseboard, but it's letting the air out, or at least it was doing, until the oil level was above the hole in the central pipe. I think that's full enough for the time being. What I'm doing here is removing the steam pipe to the turret. And now, just to make sure that I don't lose it, I'm refitting the top cap of the lubricator. And here I'm wiping away a slight surplus of oil around the top. In case you're wondering why I've removed the steam outlet pipe to the turret, it's because I need to wrap it in string. This next part is important. This is the thickness of string that I'm going to use, but I do have some thicker stuff. And when I try that on this pipe, as you can see, it's massively overscale and looks terrible against the 1/4x40 threads per inch nut. This thickness would only be tolerable on 3/16 pipe and above. I know I'm being a bit picky where scale is concerned, but I've seen so many models spoilt by things being massively overscale in the wrong place. This string is far better for this size of pipe, which is 5/32 of an inch or 4mm. Here I've wrapped some of the string around the pipe to illustrate the point. To do the job properly, I need some of this stuff. Low viscosity superglue. I apply a small amount of it to the end of the pipe. Then I hold a piece of string in position on top of the superglue. Cut off the excess and start the winding operation. This is really tedious. It is a job I do not enjoy doing. To keep the string tight on the pipe, you have to apply constant pressure to it as you wind, and this soon makes your fingers ache. Periodically, so I can have a bit of a rest, I apply some superglue to the end of the string, but all too soon I start the wrapping process once again. Once I reach the halfway point, I turn the piece of pipe round and work from the other end. It's really important to get this right. If you leave gaps in the string, it looks horrendous. This, by the way, is not just for fancy, it's a necessary thing. What I'm wrapping is the steam pipe from the superheater or steam dryer, and the steam going down this pipe is very hot indeed. You would burn yourself quite badly if you touched the bare copper pipe. So the solution is wrap it in some string. The only trouble is there is yet another pipe to wrap, and this is the pipe that goes from the steam outlet on the boiler to the superheater inlet. And the idea of lagging this pipe is just to keep the steam hot once it leaves the boiler. It gets much hotter when it goes through the steam dryer or superheater, and by lagging this pipe it gives the steam a head start at getting very hot. I haven't shown the wrapping of this pipe because it was very similar to the other one, but with tighter bends in it. Here's the finished job, and both of them are looking okay, but they're no good until they're painted. I'm using some Humbrol white or ivory paint. It's a tin that I found in the outer part of the workshop. It had a number 41 on the tin lid. You have to use quite a lot of paint, not enough for it to run, but enough for it to soak into the string. As you can see, the string is very hairy. There are a couple of ways of removing this. Usually by the time you've painted it and rubbed it with your hand, the bits drop off, but if they don't, you can just touch it with a blowtorch. I don't mean cremate it, just burn off the hairy bits. I painted the superheater inlet pipe first, and that's clamped in the vise, but I painted this one whilst it was attached to the turret. It's time now to refit the injector and water tap to the upper tank. I wasn't happy with the initial paint finish, so I gave it another coat. Here, as shown previously, I'm bolting it to the column using the bolt that I made, and here, as previously shown, I'm using a Barco spanner on the socket driver to tighten the bolt firmly into the column. As before, everything fits very well. The union nuts are finger tight at this stage, but very soon after this I tighten them both with a spanner. So that's it, the model steam engine test plant is finished. I'm quite looking forward to testing an engine or two on this. It's going to be very easy to manage, and I really won't have to mess about with the boiler much. We shall see, that's the plan anyway. But for now it's time for me to go and say stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Main Steam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists you can actually watch the videos back to back.